Hello and welcome back to once again another terrible ranking video done by me. That's right. Okay, so this time we begin with one of the most important cars in all of history, and probably most importantly, Jeep's best looking car, and that'd be the Willys Jeep, used in pretty much every major theatre of World War II. I gotta rate it high, but can I rate it top? No. Maybe? No. It's gotta be A tier for that one. I cannot bring myself to put it at top. It does not quite match up to the legendariness that is the Suzuki Swift. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, moving on. Next we have the... Bear with me while I check what this specific model is, because this was a requested comment. This is the R56 Mini JCW. I cannot go wrong with a Mini, I'm not gonna lie. Goated car. See these everywhere in England. I'm not sure I'd rate it though. Personally, I think it's got to be between B and A tier. I don't think it's the best looking car. I think it's got to be B tier for me. I mean, it just looks a little bit boxy and they're like a little bit chunky. The older ones, the smaller ones, are really nice. The ones, and they look good with the Union Jack. These ones you see quite a lot with Union Jack brake lights and stuff. They look quite cool, but the bog standard model without is just a bit boxy and a bit chunky. Next is one of the most legendary performance cars of all time, the Porsche GT3 RS. I think it's like the 992. Not great about Porsches, but I like this. This is another dream car of mine. Very quick. I think it held the record in the Nürburgring for a while. Say a while because I imagine something else has come and overtaken it, as you would expect from the Nürburgring, as it is starting to... Well, it's a few years old now. I say a few. It's more than a few years old now, but it is still a goated car. It's a solid S tier because I want one, so it's going up there. Next is the Aston Martin Vantage. I've seen quite a few of these. If you've watched the Haynes video from the Breakfast Club or some of the shorts that I've put out, these are featured in a couple of them. Because the day I went to Haynes, it was a focus on the Aston Martin, specifically Aston Martins in general. I like these. These are very nice. That colour on that one looks gorgeous. Looks fair. Well, it looks nice. I'd say it's a solid A tier on that one, I'm not going to lie. It's very nice. And now we move on to this Peugeot. Now, if anyone's seen Top Gear, they never talk highly of Peugeots. And that's influenced my decision here, because it's my tier list, and I'm still going to be biased. Because I can do what I want, in my opinion. Do one. And this is the 206. I don't like it. I'm not a massive fan of it either way. I think it's a solid C tier. And, you know, even when you drive it around, there's a risk it's probably just going to like fall apart, or you're going to crash on a roundabout or something like that. For those American viewers, roundabouts are basically what we use as junctions instead of crossroads because they're more efficient. Next is the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series. This is a stunning car, very quick. I wouldn't rate it as high as the Aston Martin. I think it looks lovely. It's a great car. One of these or something similar to it was also at Haynes. I think I took a video of it. I don't remember. Let's go with probably. Post-production me can tell you if I found out or recorded one. Yes, that's right. I'm screwing myself over later again. Do one future me. It's got a lot of exposed carbon on it in most cases. Very cool car. I mean, if I remember correctly, you had to buy 2 of them to get a special livery. I don't rate it as high as the Aston Martin Vantage. For me, it's B tier. Still a really solid car, though. Next up is one of the happiest cars ever made. That being the 1980s Mazda Miata, or Mazda MX-5. It is a stunning little car. Always very happy. This is one of the cars that I might actually be reasonably able to afford in the future. However, it's not S tier. It's not as good as a Porsche, I don't think. It's A tier for me. Still very happy, and it's got pop-up headlights, which are always a win, no matter what car they're on. Next is the PT Cruiser. That just goes there. I mean, no words need to be said about that. I mean, look at it. It's horrendous. It's a monstrosity. Next up we have the Audi R8. I do love a good Audi. They are rapid. The R8 is just one of the Audi's legendary cars. Now imagine if they'd done one of these. I say imagine if I'd done one of these. Imagine if I had one of these. I mean, I prefer other things over this. I do like Audis, but it's not the top. It's got to be a C tier for me. It's, well, is it as bad as ahead of the Peugeot, I think, but it's not. No, B tier. Solid B tier on the Audi R8, I think. Next we have the Kia Rio. I'm not a fan, I'm not gonna lie. That model, the colour's nice, but everything else about it's not. Just looks a bit bog standard and boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's not as interesting. It hasn't got a mini personality. It hasn't got the aggressive looks of the Mercedes. It's just there. It's just boring, regular traffic. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit dull. Next up, we have the McLaren Senna. This is a legendary car. If I remember correctly, 400 were made. Post-production Joe. Get screwed, you're doing it again. You got to find out the facts for me, because I haven't done any research coming into the video, as usual. So make future me deal with the problems. But this is another car I'd like to own. But it just looks incredible. I think it's proper track car, even though, and road legal as well. All the carbon. It's just a stunning car, and the massive wing on the back as well. Cannot go wrong with it. I don't ever think I've seen one in person other than at Goodwood Festival of Speed. I haven't seen any of these just out roaming, just driving about. But I'd love to. They are stunning cars. 100%. It is a one-day car, very much so. Next we have the Chevrolet Camaro, or Bow, or depending on where you are, depends on what you call it, or your thoughts on it. I think it's a great car. Definitely not being influenced by Transformers films in no way, shape or form. But I grew up seeing this car on the big screen. I love it. I think it's a legendary car. I'm not sure if it's worth A tier though, or solid B tier car. I'd rate the older Camaros higher, but they're not in this tier list. It's that specific one. It's not quite A tier. It's not C tier. It's B tier. It's not the most awesome Camaro in my opinion, but it's a solid Camaro. I'm not gonna lie. Next we have the Nissan Qashqai. Dad has one of these, straight S tier, because Dad has one. So you know, it's my tier list. Goes wherever I decide it's gonna go. Deal with it. Koenigsegg Gemera. I think this is a brilliant car. It's not the most stunning car in the world. It's not S tier. It's a very good car. Love to have one. Never gonna be able to afford one. The very much super car for either family road trips or road trips to do dumb things with the boys. That's how I'd describe this car. 100% would have one. Solid A tier car. Not quite S tier. Definitely not B tier. A tier, 100%. Okay, and finally, this is the updated rankings. Bloody hell, this document's already getting massive. It has been 2 videos. It's already long. But that's the updated ones. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.